Kevin Stefanski, will talk in Berea, and he will have to answer to why he's going to the backup. I think most of you seem to support the move. You were desperate to see anybody that wasn't Joe Flacco, and how I know that is nobody liked Dillon Gabriel when they drafted him. So what has changed? You've seen some preseason games. All right. So Jared Stidham was good in the preseason. So was Tanner McKee.
For 2 rounds, I think.
I don't think that matters.
For 2 rounds, I think people were okay with it.
What do you mean?
I'm just saying, they were like, okay, well, they got Dillon Gabriel. This is going to be our backup quarterback, or this is the guy they might want to have for the future.
You're saying once they took Shedeur.
Once they took Shedeur, everything became a drama. Everything became a mess. If they wouldn't have drafted another quarterback, I think this would be a much easier transition.
You think fans would be excited?
Yes.
About Dillon Gabriel?
Yes.
Because I'm not excited. I think
there are fans that are excited to see him that it won't. Look, if he goes out there and if they score 20 points or more this Sunday, people will be excited to see him come back.
Well, I do think this is the week where you could get some short fields, because if Carson Wentz is going to be the starter, he makes huge mistakes. He makes the rookie mistakes when he is under pressure. And look at their offensive line. Their offensive line is an absolute shambles as well.
Did you think they were coming back? The fourth quarter of that game last week in Dublin, right? They were down. Pittsburgh had the lead. Then all of a sudden, Minnesota came back at the end, and I was like, "Oh, this is interesting."
Yeah,
they got the ball at the end.
Wentz, though, at all.
Right.
You know, so this is. I know you said so many people said this is not the week because of the travel stuff, but if you're looking for an opponent that's ripe for the taking, Minnesota right now, to me, is without having to wait until we get to Miami, right?
Right.
Because Miami's the next one. So you might as well. I would rather it be.
What, you mean Pittsburgh?
No, I'm saying that's the next opportunity, right? Pittsburgh's not an opportunity.
Correct. Okay.
So instead of waiting another 2 weeks, let's just do it now. They rip the Band-Aid off. Let's go. Yeah. And then maybe when Miami rolls around, they've decided that 2 weeks was enough of that, and they do something else again. I don't think that's happening, but.
Yeah, I'll admit it.
You never know.
I'll admit it. I have to see. Dillon Gabriel actually play well for me to be excited, because it's not somebody I would ever draft. I was very confused as to why they drafted him in the first place. But you never know how these things are going to work out. Yeah, Brock Purdy. I'm sure no 49er fans, after they had moved up to get Trey Lance, nobody thought a guy drafted at the end of the.
I'm sure people didn't even think he was going to make the roster.
Yeah,
I don't
so
think
it can happen. It's not like I'm dooming Dillon Gabriel. I mean, what an opportunity.
Yes.
I mean, where else? When we talked about Shedeur Sanders calling his shots, doesn't think he would have an opportunity in Baltimore, and ironically, they've got injured quarterback.
The starting quarterback this week.
Maybe who knows? We joked about it yesterday, but in this case, what an unbelievable opportunity for Dillon Gabriel. Now, there's give and take. The give and take is this is not the Browns' offensive line of the last 10 years. This is the worst version. Even if Jack Conklin's back, how healthy is he going to be?
I just think at 1-3, Browns fans are okay with this. I don't think anyone hates it. I really don't think Browns fans hate it by any means. Why would you? Look, you're 1-3. Where are you going? And if you're a Shedeur Sanders fan, you're probably excited about this too, because it probably moves your quarterback up another notch to have a chance to play. You could say.
Yeah, I don't know if Shedeur fans are thinking like that. I think they're thinking that he's still getting slighted by not being ahead.
I get it. I'm sure that's exactly how hardcore Shedeur fans feel, that he should be the one getting the opportunity this week. That's just not the way it's played out this year. So see what happens. Again, you're 2 snaps away from being able to play. I also wonder, although I don't know if I'm doing it with all the offensive line problems they've had, but do you not make him the emergency quarterback, just put him on the active roster, and then you don't have to have an emergency quarterback this week?
I don't know.
You don't have to.
He can't jump the line if he's in that emergency role, because he can be part of the 46. But if he's part of the 46,
correct,
then you can put him in over Joe in the game.
And maybe you have a Shedeur Sanders package you want to put into the game. I just think that's really minuscule for an entire game, that you may have a scenario where you like Shedeur and you might want to play him in one spot or another.
I laugh, though, because
you still can have an emergency quarterback after. You can still care.
Correct.
We have been perusing the networks in studio. We have the monitors on, and while we went into breaking coverage, so did the networks.
Yeah.
They showed an image of Dillon Gabriel on a graphic. The highlights and lowlights were all Shidor Sanders. So this allowed them the opportunity to start talking about Shedeur again. And I do wonder if that's where some of the excitement comes in today, is that it feels like to some of the fan base, you're one step closer to Shedeur, which leads me to the next question. Joe Flacco is listed as the backup this week, and obviously if there's an injury, they'll go to Joe Flacco.
Right.
Like, they will play him.
They have to. They don't have a choice if Shedeur is the emergency quarterback. They don't have a choice.
They would go back to Joe Flacco. But is that it? Like, what would happen the following week?
You're asking, will he be the starter again if something were to happen to Dillon? Yeah.
Yes. And I think they would go back to Joe Flacco. I know that Daryl was on record over the last week saying there's no going back to Joe Flacco. I think it's so early in the season, they think it's far too early based on their behavior, based on all the stuff we've been hearing out of Berea, the national stuff. I don't think they think Shedeur is anywhere near ready enough to bring him in before Flacco. Do you think I'm wrong?
No, I think you're right. My mind starts wandering on this stuff and still wondering when Deshaun's going to come back into play.
Well, that's
on this
the other
whole
name.
thing. That's the other part of this. So, if for some
that's
reason
the
they
name
think
nobody wants to hear.
ROI, baby, they're still paying
Maybe
him.
Jimmy Haslam wants to hear it. He's still paying him. He went to the wedding.
He wants to hear it. Deshaun wants to hear it.
Okay, there's two.
Okay. Sean's wife?
New wife.
Yeah.
There we
What
go.
do you think?
We're at
Does
them
he?
up now.
Wait. Does Deshaun behind
His
that
quarterback
line?
coach.
Does he want to see? He's seen the receivers. He's seen the offensive line so far this year. We sure Watson coming off another injury, surgically repaired. What was it this time? Was it the knee this time,
No,
or was
this
it
was
the
the
Achilles?
Achilles.
Yeah.
Okay, I get him mixed up.
Double Achilles surgery on
So-
one Achilles.
Are we sure he wants to get back out there right now?
He can't. He can. They could make him active this week. They
Yeah,
could have taken. Yeah, he's. I mean,
He's in the window.
There's a practice window and then there's an activation window. And if they wanted him to be, let's say Flacco had like a season. I hate saying stuff like this, but let's just say he was done for the season for some reason. Okay. You going to tell me they're not going to activate him? That they're not going to put it? Bailey Zappi's probably going to go. Now you're back to 4 quarterbacks again. 4 or 5 quarterbacks the whole season.
And you
we've been
can't
talking
blame
about.
us for speculating. They're the team that had the 4-way QB competition, traded the guy that some in the organization wanted to be the starter,
right?
Because he had for no other reason he had a hamstring injury. That's the other part of this. Like we talk about guys.
I guarantee you, Jeff brings this up in the next hour.
Well, we talk about all the time seizing control of an opportunity. In this case, did Dillon Gabriel seize control of this opportunity, or was it the hamstring injury, to one of the quarterbacks, to the other quarterback being under assault, the offensive line injuries that made his lack of mobility even more of an issue?
We did it all preseason. Dillon Gabriel was last on everybody's list except for Kevin Stefanski and Andrew Berry's.
Right.
So,
but
it is a seizing of some sort, right?
They believe he is the best quarterback for the job this week against Minnesota to win.
Or were they feeling the pressure?
No, they believe. They have to believe.
Were they feeling the pressure way more than just football? Like, what has really changed? What, honestly, materially,
they feel like the offense could be better with Dillon Gabriel. That's all there is to it.
They didn't think that 4 weeks ago. So what has truly changed? Okay, you had 2 interceptions just earlier in the season that weren't Flacco's fault. Last week, you had Albert Breer on yesterday. He didn't think either interception last week was Joe Flacco's fault. He said it was basically lousy receiver play and miscommunication.
Right.
Which I still think the first interception.
Maybe they
Flacco,
believe Dillon Gabriel has a better concept and a better grip of what they're trying to do.
Oh, they think he's gotten up to speed
give him
with
an opportunity
with all those reps he's had the last 4 weeks. What are the reps he's had the last 4 weeks?
How many reps have you seen in practice? I haven't seen any. I don't know who's getting reps.
All I heard about was Shidor Sanders getting pity reps at the end of practice. That's all I heard.
He
I didn't
goes
hear
to Baldwin Wallace and gets reps.
And then
the
the reps with the receivers, the Division III Baldwin Wallace. So that's all I've heard. I haven't heard anything about Dillon Gabriel getting up to speed. I haven't heard anything. Just the coaches are always
Who's asking that though? Who's asking?
Well, they're asking Shedeur Sanders questions in the locker room.
But they're not asking, hey, is Dillon up today? They will finally ask those questions. Has Dillon gotten up to speed? Why is Dillon the right choice this week and he wasn't last week? That's what the real question is.
I don't think anything's changed except the pressure. I think the pressure is mounting.
When has the organization...
in fact, I'll even say this. Guys, they are advertising ticket sales during a Browns regular season. I've never seen that
When
before.
has this organization and this front office ever succumbed to any pressure? The fans tried to pressure him into bringing Flacco back last year. They didn't do it. They have not given in to fan pressure to this point. when we've all sat here and said that they need to give in to fan pressure.
But they run
why
spots.
fan pressure would have made this quarterback.
Anthony, I'm just going to tell you straight out, you're wrong on the ad thing.
I think they're hearing apathy. I think they're seeing empty seats at the home opener, which we haven't had since like '99. Empty seats.
If it was that, then they'd go to Shedeur right now.
That's right.
Well,
You're
can't,
right.
They can't because the coaches are saying he's not even close to ready. He doesn't even know the playbook.
They're already selling Shedeur. I mean, there's 2 jerseys in the room that we're in.
They are monetarily, yes, they are
but
trying to capitalize on it.
But you're not right about the season ticket thing. The season ticket thing is on all the time. I've seen it.
I'm hearing very different things than you are behind the scenes about their
but not about advertising. They're always advertising, whether it was being on the list or whether it is about getting season tickets.
I've never seen this many tickets up for grabs. I've never seen it for a Browns regular season.
No, your point
that includes the 0-16 year. We did not have this many seats up for grabs. They are feeling the pressure, and you don't think that pressure trickles down from ownership to the management to the marketing, and then comes all the way out in a season where we all agreed before the year. We kept asking this question: what's the season about? What is this season about? What do you guys think it's about? Is it really going to the Super Bowl? No, you can check that off the list. Is it to go to the AFC Championship game? No, it's not off the list. Is it even really going for the playoffs? And before the season, when the odds makers had you with the lowest win total in the NFL, when people were telling you that you got a 4-quarterback competition, 4-man competition, and Joe Flacco, the 40-year-old, wins it, was winning ever the thought this year? They're feeling the pressure.
I hear you. As like Kevin Stefanski does every time, he doesn't answer the question that you're saying. What I'm saying to you, if you want to listen on this one, is that they have always been consistent about trying to sell tickets, whether it's being on a waiting list or whether it's being, having actual tickets. So you may be right. They may have more empty seats than they've ever had in forever. And I'll agree with you. But that's not the point that you had made was, look, all of a sudden they're starting to advertise. No. They've always advertised for season tickets. They've always advertised about getting on the list.
Andy? I thought there was a waiting list.
I said, if you were listening,
there's no waiting list anymore.
I haven't heard that in a while. I haven't heard that spot yet.
Yeah, because it's over. The waiting list is over. But the good news is, Dillon Gabriel, you've got your start coming up this week in London. Early start, and you get to go up against the Brian Flores defense. I hope he's got the reps. I hadn't heard much about the reps. I'm sure we'll hear today how much of the reps has he been getting all the way